Welcome to a Star Wars Destiny Character Basics video, brought to you by the Knights of Ren podcast. The first question we're going to ask when building a team is, do you want to be a hero, or do you want to be a villain player? Heroes are more defensive, villains are more aggressive, and that's important to realize because you can only have one type of affiliation in your deck. You do have access to blue, red, and yellow characters, but you can't cross-pollinate hero and villain cards together. Next up, we're going to look at the composition of our card. In our previous deck building video, we go over each and every single piece of a card, but today we're going to look at the health and point values. So when you're building a deck, the health value of your team is extremely important because once this pool has been depleted and your characters are defeated, you've lost the game. So in order to build that health pool up, you're going to be spending 30 points in building a deck. So your point value cost is extremely important on the bottom left-hand side of your character card. So the first thing you have to consider is, do you want to bring a character at their normal or elite cost? Luke Skywalker is a great example. So for 15 points out of your 30, you can bring Luke and 1 die to the table, or for 20 points, you can bring him at his elite version with 2 dice to the table. Now do know that this is going to eat up 20 of your 30 points, so now you only have 10 available for the rest of your deck. So let's take a look at a character card and what they can bring to the table. Here is Rey, the Force Prodigy, with a health pool of 10. This is average because the lowest health in the game is 7 and the highest is 13. 10 is a great number because it's going to take a few rounds of focus firing her in order just to knock her out right off the bat. Her dice symbols offer a lot of utility, with 1 melee damage, a +2 modified melee damage, discard, resource generation, and a +1 modified resource generation. Her dice symbols offer a lot of utility. However, by herself, she's not super effective. She's going to need some equipment attached to her in order to get the best out of her modified sides. But she's easily paired with other characters who deal melee damage and resource generators in order to create lots of money or melee damage on the field. Her ability states, after you play an upgrade on this character, you may take 1 additional action. This is incredible because Rey gives your team action economy. Essentially, you're able to do more things in a turn than your opponent is able to do, which can accelerate your win condition, allowing you to deal more damage, resolve more effects, play more cards, and lots of other things faster than your opponent can respond to. And this is great because a lot of other characters need a little bit of oomph in order to get that damage out before they get mitigated and removed away. Rey's point cost is 9 for her normal die and 12 for her elite. This is wonderful because she can fit into a lot of decks at that 9 point cost. She can bring blue cards to the table because remember, whatever color of character you bring to your team, you can also put those cards into your 30 point deck. She brings in a lot of utility with resource generation as well as melee bolstering, and it's just nice to have another body for 10 health at 9 points. This gives your team, like we said earlier, extra 10 health, which gives you survivability, another target your opponent has to deal with, and the flexibility of having melee, resource, utility, and action economy all built into Rey's kit. So let's take a look at an example team composition. Here you have Rey at her elite 12 points, and Luke at his 15 point normal side. You've got 27 out of your 30 points being spent with 3 dice to start. Your health pool is 22, which is pretty strong, and you've got access to melee damage between both Luke and Rey. Rey gives you the ability to have additional action economy. Luke, when he's used, can draw you more cards. This can get you more options faster. You can deal a lot of melee damage, and you can produce a lot of resources between these two. If you wanted to build the deck in a different direction, you could bring Luke at his elite 20 point cost. However, in order to do this, you would have to reduce Rey down to her 9 single die points. This is going to give you lots of melee damage coming out of Luke Skywalker. Now, he is going to become a big target because he's going to be able to deal 4 to 6 damage without paying any resources, and Rey is able to give a +2 at maximum, so you could deal 8 melee damage without any equipment, without spending any resources. Rey also still gives you the ability to get action economy out of her. So now you have a team that's a lot more bursty. Instead of focusing on Rey as the utility and damage enhancer, Luke is going to be the bruiser, dealing lots of damage, and Rey is going to be enhancing that damage, bringing equipment, dice, and all kinds of things to help make Luke stay alive longer and deal more damage. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out swdestiny.com for more card articles, deck construction, player tips, and much more. Also, make sure to listen to the Knights of Ren podcast. We are a weekly Star Wars Destiny show where we discuss deck tips, deck lists, card analysis, and so much more. You don't want to miss out on a single show. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.